Hi, Brian. How are you today?
Awesome. Thanks for having me here.
Sure. So this is Brian, one of the teachers of Baptiste Yoga here in Phoenix, and I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions. So I would like to know, Brian, how did you start with Baptiste Yoga? How was your journey when you started? And how does Baptiste Yoga influence your teachings when you teach yoga?
Three-part question. Wow. So I found a teacher of mine turned me on to Baptiste Yoga. I was practicing Bikram yoga at the time, and my one teacher recommended I find teacher training. And I'm like, no way, not me. I'm not a teacher. And she goes, no, I see something in you, but you should really check out this guy Baron Baptiste, and take his training. I'm like, oh, is he? I live in Scottsdale, by the way. So I'm like, oh, is he in Scottsdale, Phoenix? Like, where's the studio? And she's like, no, he's global. Like, he's this, he's all over the world. But I think, you're very athletic. I'm a runner, so I think you would find his style very challenging and fulfilling you. So I went on the website and I didn't know anything about Baron Baptiste, didn't know who he was, and I thought Bikram yoga was the only those 26 poses was yoga. I didn't realize there was vinyasa flow or any of these other different styles. So, long story short, did the training in Sedona, Arizona about 6 years ago, and just fell in love with the physicalness of the practice. And then through Baptiste Yoga, the methodology that's used, the words, the essential language, it really resonated with me. The people, the community is probably the biggest thing that keeps bringing me back over and over for the past 6 years. We're a global community. We're not just here in Arizona. I mean, it's everywhere over the world. Teachers and students, practitioners of Baptiste Yoga. Um, so that's how I found it. The second question was,
What do you like about it, or how does it influence your teachings when you do teach yoga?
yeah, so it influences my teachings because I can always, when I teach from the methodology, like you can always deliver a powerful class and your words land in the students. And that's like the biggest thing. When I take a class, when I teach, like it's seeing your students, letting your students see you. We talk about like not hiding. So really just come out and like totally be your authentic self in class and just have fun. Like Baptiste Yoga is for everyone. And that's kind of like how I explain it. Like anyone can come do Baptiste Yoga. We have a sequence. It's called Journey into Power, and it's just a blueprint that we use. So when we go through the training, it's 11 sequences of 55 poses. Some days I might teach JIP in its entirety, like to a T, but I play with it. I have fun, and that's what makes it. At the level now, I'm at 500 hours. I just got my tier 2 certification through the Baptiste Institute. And at this point now, like I play with the sequence, right? Because I'm a masterful teacher of it. So I'm allowed to, I express myself through it. And then there's some times where it's always like very grounding to come back and just teach JIP like as is. And when I do that, it's like, wow, like it brings me back to the basics and like you can really land the methodology in the students' bodies and leave them in their greatness. And so that's some of the essential language right there I just threw out. And those are two of our statements from our 10 tenets that we teach from. And I think there was a third question.
Well, and you were going to say, you were talking about the misconception about power yoga. Can you say something about that again?
Yeah, so before we turned the camera on, we were talking about power yoga. So I've experienced myself many times taking a power yoga class, and I'll hear students before class or even before my class like, oh, this is going to be so tough, or Brian's class is tough. And it's not about like how many chaturangas you do, or how long we hold a pose, or how bendy or twisty you are, right? So power yoga is like we hold power within us. And when you quit and when you come out of your default and you, whatever word that is, it may be this pose burns, or in your relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend, like when it going gets tough and you want to run and hide, or when your boss gives you a task at work that you don't want to do, that takes you out of your comfort zone, right? You're giving your power away. So just like your mat in your life, right? Both sides of your hands. When you come out of that pose, like, yeah, like be in the fire and do the work. Now, by all means, if you have an injury and you're feeling pain and you come out of a pose, that's something totally different, right? You're still in the fire, you're doing the work, but you really like you challenge yourself and like you just stay in the fire, and that's when you get the benefit, and that's when you find the gold of like your life and the pose and your relationship and your job, and you have that fulfillment afterwards. Like, yes, I can. Yeah, it's like when we talk about being a yes, like be a yes for you, be a yes for your community, be a yes for your other students in class, inspire them through your breath. And yeah, I can tell I'm kind of passionate about it.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Anything else you would like to add or share about Baptiste Yoga and this journey?
Yeah, so like as a personal, until I found Baptiste Yoga, I wasn't really clear like on life and where I was going, what I was doing. I'm in the military, so I saw how Baptiste Yoga changed my life. Not even like physically. So for instance, I lost like 50 pounds after starting my Baptiste Yoga journey. So physically, I felt great. Mentally, like I never understood like when people say, I can think clearly, see clearly. Like all that stuff kind of opened up. I dropped like this mask I was hiding behind of who I wanted people to see me as opposed to who I really am, and really come from authenticity. And I love that now about myself. I don't have to hide anymore and try to put on a fake act of who I am. And like if you ever come take my class, you'll see like I just say whatever comes from my heart. Like sometimes obscenity might come out of my mouth. Like it's like whatever I'm feeling, right? So maybe I don't know what it is, but it just allows me to be authentic, and that's who I am. And I really we encourage our students to like be authentic in class. Again, like don't take it serious. Like come to class, have fun, laugh, be playful, right? But be in the fire and do the work. And I encourage everyone, if you've never taken a Baptiste class, like check it out. You can go online, mybaptistepractice.com. I give you a little plug. You can go practice with Baron or any certified teacher throughout the world. We offer trainings globally, so if you're interested in ever doing a teacher training, for those of you that live in Arizona, we do a lot of trainings right here in our backyard in Sedona. But if not, we're in every continent on this planet. There's Baptiste Yoga. And just check it out, and thanks for coming out and seeing what we're about. And I love my Baptiste community. That's what keeps drawing me back and keeps grounding me back in my practice. And if you guys have any other questions, like check it out on the website. Please come back, and if you want to do another questions and answer with me, I'd love to keep following up, because I am very passionate about it. And it really changed my life in so many different ways. So thanks for. You guys are very lucky that you were chosen to have Baron Baptiste as your guys' assignment today, because after all these years and like working side by side with Baron now, I'm very fortunate to get to go out and assist him on teacher trainings, and I see how we transform people, how the methodology, the methodology, he is just a vessel of it, right? The methodology truly transforms people's lives. So.
Well, thank you again, Brian. And he is the only certified Baptiste Yoga teacher in the state of Arizona at this time. So thank you very much for sharing that information with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.